All right, y'all, I need to download some tick data for some backtesting that I want to do. And I thought I would go ahead and show you how I do that with NinjaTrader. And if you want to learn more about NinjaTrader, sign up for a free account and download their software, play around with it. You can go to bullbarbie.link/NinjaTrader and I'll get you to the right place. So before I show you how to do this, I just real quick want to explain why I'm downloading this data. And in my case, I want to backtest some strategies that use intra-bar information. So I'm going to download the tick data. So usually your standard low price budget data is going to be minute data. And what that is the open, high, low, and close information. So you don't get what happened inside of that candle, like when it broke a level or when it whips back and forth, how that behavior worked. So in order to see that intra-bar information, like when price breaks intra-bar, we need to get the tick data. So that's what I'm going to download here. In this case, I want to be able to test my 𝗟𝗶𝗁 strategy, which doesn't wait for candle close, and it will enter on a price break, so on price change, as opposed to a candle close. So in order to do that, we'll come into NinjaTrader and go to Tools. If you haven't been into settings and checked out the market data section, you should do that because you will want to set your priority for historical data and for live market data and that sort of thing. You might have some different sources, especially if you're using prop firms and brokers. But for our purposes today, we're going to go to historical data. And if you want, you can browse through all of the different data that you have access to. And if you have some loaded, if you click onto here, you'll even be able to see that. I don't have any loaded for this particular contract. But in this case, I want to come down here and get the micro NASDAQ data for the current contract, which is the contract that expires in June of this year. So I'll select that one. And in this case, the data that I want to add, I have data through April, but I haven't added any data for this month yet. And we've gotten past the halfway mark of this month. So I want to download the data for the first half of the year. So I'm going to come over here and use the date picker to pick May 1st. So that'll be the first day that I start getting data. And then send that through the 15th. I don't even mind. We can even put it over a weekend, make sure that it gets complete data. I don't mind doing that. But the important thing here is, depending on what you need, you might want the bid and the ask data, which is going to be more data on your hard drive and all that. I just need the last data for my strategy because I don't care about the spread. But what I do care about is day data and minute data is only going to have that open, high, low, close figure. And I want every tick, every price tick, every price change. So that's the data that I want to download. Once I'm ready to do that, I just hit download. This usually doesn't take that long on NinjaTrader. If you want to export that data, which I'll show you how to do in just a minute, that does end up taking a little bit longer. So that process is finished, and now I can come down to export and select that same contract. So we'll find that MMQ626 and we'll pick the same dates that we just downloaded. So May 1st, and then that'll go through May 16th, I think is what we downloaded. And we don't want the minute data, we want the tick data. Last is fine. This happens to me sometimes where this is still grayed out. Yeah, you can click on it, or sometimes if you close that download tab first, that'll work. Okay, it glitched, so don't mind NinjaTrader right there. But we'll go back down and find the correct contract. So that was MNQ626. Check the date, May 1st through May 16th, tick with the last. That's exactly what I want. I'll go ahead and hit export. And I'm going to put a little thing in here so I know which file this was, and go ahead and download that. This will take a minute. So you can go pick your nose or file your nails or whatever it is you need to do. We'll come back here and eventually. This is taking a little bit because it's every single price change that happened within a 1 minute candle for the micro NASDAQ for 23 hours a day, 5 days a week. So it is a lot of data. It'll even show you down here how much time is left. You'll probably be able to notice it on the video by how the candles change here too. We made it! All right, now I have that data on my computer and I can play with it however I want to. So you can either use that for the backtester here within NinjaTrader, or if you're running any other little custom scripts that you may have created and want to use that data. All right, I hope that helped y'all. If you want more NinjaTrader content, there's more of it on my channel and more of it in the works. So I will see you later on that, or maybe even another trading video. All right, love y'all. Bye.